So I'm here at the Nebraska-Colorado border. Bam, check it out. Oh, there it is. Cool, here's my hand. Yeah, sweet. All right, and I'm picking these fun spots. At least to me, they're fun. I think state borders are cool. And I get really excited when I actually encounter a sign, because for the most part on the bike, you don't do that because you're on a bunch of back roads. So this is exciting to me. And I'm picking these spots to talk about sort of my general overall game design or playtesting philosophies. So today, I want to talk about sort of the one overall thing that drives how I approach playtesting feedback. And that is, as a playtester, I can only give you my honest experience. What do I mean by that? Well, that's a good question. So when I give feedback, it can certainly be critical, but it's always about me. It's always about how I experience the game. I think this is where I sort of try to straddle the line or create a compromise between the ideas of being honest and critical, but also being kind. Obviously, I think it's important to be kind in a playtest. But I think where a lot of people maybe stumble there or misunderstand that is they think that kindness isn't necessarily critical. And the other problem, of course, is that there are people who think that being critical means you can just be a jerk. Part of what I mean by this is when I give feedback on the game, I don't know if I think of it that way. Like, I'm giving feedback about myself during the playtesting process. So I think where maybe we fall into the trap of maybe being like mean in our criticism is when we say something like, this game is boring, or this game is too complicated. And we're making our feedback more of an external thing. Like, we can't actually make those statements necessarily, because to some people, the game might not be boring, and to some people, the game might not be too complicated, etc. What I can say, and what I do say, and where my overall philosophy comes into play here, is all of those statements are going to be about me. I will definitely say something like, I was bored when blank happened, or I was overwhelmed during this part of your game, or I was confused. On the flip side, I'll also phrase my positive feedback that way. So I'll say things like, I was really excited about X, or I was really looking forward to this part of your game as you were explaining it. Or things like, I really felt empowered by the decisions I had in the game. That's, again, my personal experience. I am relating, as a playtester, everything about your game that I experienced back to you. And once I've given you that experience, that's it. That's the end of my feedback. It is not my job to design the game for you. It is not my job to suggest fixes. It is not my job to continue to somehow argue with you that your game needs to be changed. So, to wrap this up, as a playtester, the best thing you can do is give your honest experience, filtered through yourself. Don't go down the what if rabbit hole. Don't try to fix the game for them. And we'll talk about those in future videos when I find different cool places to do filming from. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got some kind of value out of it. Anyway, it's been fun. Peace. One of the reasons I never come out and say that a game is directly bad is because I usually experience something in the game, at least one thing that I like. Something else I'll do that kind of breaks this rule is, well, I won't say a game is bad. I'll definitely say to a designer, this game is great. I mean, obviously, the meaning behind that is I experienced your game is great, but I also sort of objectively think your game is great. Even if they have pretty thick skin, if I say your game is boring, I don't think it's a very far stretch for them to then be like, am I boring? I made a boring game, I made a bad game.